All right, welcome back to another episode of Asset Coach and Tax Strategist. This is our YouTube channel, and this is a continuation of, and you've seen our last few episodes be really about BRICS, about currency. I think this is important. As you'll see on our last episode that we went live with, we were talking about which countries are representative in BRICS, who want to join BRICS. We also talked about what will BRICS do to the world economy, what are some options in using it as more of an accounting unit than an actual currency per se. And the reason why this is important, because one of the things I talked about was, let's look at the euro. What happened with the euro, right? And then all of a sudden you had the euro, and who backed out? England backed out, didn't they? And so what could happen with the BRICS? Maybe one of these countries could back out. Now, with the euro, these were all countries that were part of the same continent. It made sense because they were all connected. When we're looking at BRICS, they're all over different continents. And so we showed a map of that last episode. So here's why this is so important. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm just an average Joe, Bob, an average Bob, just like you, looking at this stuff, scratching my head saying, does this pass the smell test? Just raising questions. That's it. I am not an expert in economics or currency or anything like that. But I am going to use, and we talked about the last episode, I did talk about cryptocurrency and blockchain. And so one of the things I see a lot of dialogue, because what we're talking about is currency, and cryptocurrency and blockchain is a form of currency. It's decentralization. And we're talking about BRICS being centralized based on an accounting unit or an actual physical currency, no different than the dollar, the pound, or any other currency, right? So what's interesting is that there's a lot of really good articles from some of these publications that focus on cryptocurrency. And these two articles we're going to look at come from the same website called watcher.guru. All right. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And what we want to do is go through this. And they're not long articles. Okay. Again, and there's a lot of ads. So I apologize for all these ads and this distraction. But that's how a lot of these publications that are small like this make their money. So India makes a huge announcement on BRICS currency. When was this? July 12th. This was recently, July 12th. Okay. Now, if we scroll down, India is the odd one out in the BRICS group, as the nation is worried that China is using the alliance to lay emphasis on its self-interest. Oh, really? China could be using BRICS as a stepping stone in its quest for global domination. The Chinese power prowl is evidenced as the Xi administration is accepting the Chinese yuan as cross-border transactions. The communist nation is benefiting from the U.S. sanctions against Russia by convincing other countries to settle trade in the Chinese yuan. Amidst the heels of China's dominance, India's foreign minister S. Jaishankar, apologize for mispronouncing, made a revelation about the formation of BRICS currencies. All right, let's go in. What did he say? India is the only country in the BRIC bloc that is doing financially well in terms of GDP growth. The country can survive without BRICS and needs support from the Western powers through trade deals to further boost its economy. Considering all these factors, Jaishankar made an announcement this month that India could back out from launching the BRICS currency. He said that India is focused on strengthening its national currency first. Remember last episode, that's what I talked about. I said national currency is important. BRICS could be a good, accounting unit, basically a credit backing unit. The rupee and not the BRICS currency. Making the rupee stronger will be the top priority of Modi government, he stated. The Indian currency will remain a national issue and not the BRICS currency, said the minister at a press conference. The foreign minister did not provide further information, but hinted that India might back out from the BRICS currency. The BRICS alliance is looking to launch a new currency at next month in August. The bloc of 5 nations will decide the formation of the new tender in South Africa. BRICS is an acronym for blah, 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 blah. So interesting, right? And it talks about 19 countries have expressed interest, and we went through that in the last episode. Now let's look at BRICS GDP to reach 128 trillion ahead of 77 trillion from US GDP. So what this article, July 13th, same author, July 13th, so one day later from that article we just went through, now is looking at the total GDP of all BRICS versus the US. Okay. And so let's look at this. Goldman Sachs published a report predicting that India could overtake the US to become the second biggest economy in the world. According to the data, now second biggest economy. So they're saying that China is going to be the biggest, then India, then us. According to the data, India GDP would reach 52.5 trillion in 2075. 2075. Oh, in 51 years, this could happen. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be such a jerk in laughing like this, but in 51 years, this could happen. Okay, let's continue with this. While the US GDP could be only 51.5 trillion, India would be ahead by 1 trillion in GDP compared to the US 52 years from today. The forecast said that China will be the biggest economy with 57 trillion. So India and China are BRICS countries, and their economies are much ahead of that of the United States and Western nations. Oh my goodness. So you see what I'm saying when we talk about information to kind of create this fear mongering? Hey, 52 years from now, by the way, I won't even be alive. I'll be in my hundreds. I'm 48 right now. I would be 100. My centennial, I'd sit there and watch the news, however we would watch the news in 52 years, or maybe it would just be in my head. There won't be any TVs or screens. It just all of a sudden will pop in my head and go, oh, wow, China, it's 52 years. I remember that article 52 years ago. Now China has become the largest economy GDP-wise. Oh, look at India. They are second. We are third. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a jerk, but I just find this comical. Thank you, Goldman Sachs, for wasting dollars on this. The U.S. will fall to the third spot below China and India in the next 5 decades, according to Goldman Sachs. The BRICS nations combined will be a financial superpower in 50 years. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Well, let's look at the listing. Okay, Goldman Sachs. Thank you guys. All right. Woo. All right. Brazil will be 8.7. Russia will be 6.9. India 52.5. China 57. South Africa 3.3. For a total of $128.4 trillion. U.S. has 65% chances of slipping into a recession. India has 0. India has no chance of going into a recession. So, again, information that's out there is just that, right? It's just information. Sometimes it's noise. I mean, writing an article about 52 years from now when everybody reading this won't be alive, I guess is important. I don't know. Goldman Sachs, thank you. Or did it come out from Goldman Sachs saying, why are we concerned by this? Are you kidding me? 52 years from now? Who knows? We can't even predict what's going to happen this year, right? So what are we so worried about 52 years from now? And that could be what Goldman Sachs is coming out with. I don't know. I can't presume. I didn't read this study. We're just literally going off of this article from watcher.guru. Whatever that is worth. I don't know what that's worth, but pretty darn comical. I didn't read the full article until just now. And as you can see how I reacted to 52 years from now, what we could be concerned of. So anyways, everyone, let's synchronize watches. 3, 2, 1, synchronize. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.